Security Breach is one of my least favorite games, and that's because they decided to bring back William Afton. Again, but what if I told you they didn't actually bring back William Afton? So normally on this channel I try to avoid referencing the books because I feel like too many people take stuff from the books and just believe it at face value. Today, sadly, we have to take stuff from the books. And that's because I think the books have finally given us a way out of the weird story of Security Breach. I think the books may have explained Burntrap and actually made me like him. So in the books there's a character called Mimic. Mimic is both an endoskeleton and a program. The endoskeleton is kinda just basically the same endoskeleton you get from Burntrap. It's a rabbit, it's slightly messed up looking. Even said that it might have been in a fire. I don't know what they meant by that. The program is 100% glitch trap because it's described as a bunch of different components and memories from other animatronics put into one program to mimic all of them. That would mean that they took the memory and stuff from the parts, just like they said they did in Fnaf VR, and they use this same stuff to reprogram the knockoff replica animatronics we see in Fnaf AR. And I already talked about before how Fnaf AR is very important to the timeline and how it actually is a canon game before, so I'm treating it like it's canon again because it is. So with this program they're able to bring back Freddy and the gang, they're able to make new animatronics based off of this memory, but sadly they also ended up replicating Afton, either through his agony or remnant or just him being imprinted on the chips. Either way, Afton got into the code and now he's back as a digital avatar, that being a glitchy bunny. Well, I think that this program that came back and formed itself into Afton has been invading all of Fazbear Entertainment's computers. It got Vanessa hired, it got the Springtrap animatronics made in Fnaf AR because Fazbear Entertainment didn't make those. No one knew why they made those, they just made them anyway. That's just something weird. No one really questioned why Springtrap is in Fnaf AR. And then also I think that it has been influencing Security Breach. I think that it was the Mimic virus or the glitch trap virus that made all of Freddy's bandmates act up, and I think that it's this virus's ultimate goal to make itself a knockoff body so that it can be William Afton. Now, some people have said that in the books a bunch of people got killed and maybe Burntrap's new skull is from one of the people it killed. I think that that's a little insane. I don't think there's enough proof for that. I think the skull and the yellow fur on the costume are not real. And the reason why I think it's not real is there's one thing in Security Breach that always caught me off, and that's when you're hiding as Gregory and when Vanny walks by, Freddy can't see Vanny, and when you're in Freddy, your vision starts to glitch when she's around. I don't think that this means that, like, he's a robot. I don't think that means that Gregory's a robot. I think it means that because he's in Freddy, Freddy's, like, visuals are glitching, but he can still see Vanny with his eyes, so it just has, like, a glitchy effect. I don't know how else they would portray this. And one of the things that has been established is that illusion discs, which are also from the books, can blind the cameras and make anything look like anything. They have had these things on endoskeletons before, and the illusion discs were able to generate fully functional animatronics. It looked just like an actual animatronic that had fur and flesh, and it was even able to look like full-on monsters. I think they even used the illusion disc to impersonate people. These things are really top-notch, and I think that this Mimic animatronic is just a Bonnie animatronic, and I think it's using an illusion disc to have the form of Burntrap. I don't think they actually have a corpse in him. I think that this thing is a faker. It is pretending to be William Afton, and it is trying desperately to make itself be William Afton. And I think that Afton was charging in the downstairs basement area because he is an actual animatronic. They didn't Frankenstein a corpse back to life using a charging station. I think it's just another standard animatronic that needs to charge up, just like how Freddy and the rest of his gang does. I think that the endoskeleton itself came from Bonnie, who was killed by Monty or Vanessa, and then his parts were used to make this mimic. I think that when it comes to interpreting the books, you can't take things too literally. Like things like names, concepts, and ideas can be taken from the books, but things are always different in the books, like how Charlie is handled, or like how the purple guy is handled. There's a lot of big differences between how things play on the books and in the games. And I think the fact that we need to pay attention to is there is a program that can copy other animatronics and pretend to be other animatronics. There's an endoskeleton with this program in it, and this thing is the mastermind behind everything that's going on in Security Breach. I think that's all the information we need. We don't need any weird trees or heterochromic tigers. I think all we need is that to conclude that Burntrap is not actually Afton. Afton is not back. This is the same guy we were dealing with in Fnaf AR and VR. Burntrap is actually just Glitch Trap. I don't know why he didn't choose the Glitch Trap body. Maybe he just thinks that this body is more Afton-y. Maybe he thinks this body is more intimidating. Who knows? But I think that Vanessa has been keeping him downstairs because she doesn't want people to find him, and I think that they go downstairs to kill people. Because in the endings we see that people have already gone missing, and that people would continue to go missing if you left the pizza place. So I think that that's what's been happening. They've just been going on their killing sprees, and then Afton has to spend the rest of his day charging. Maybe old Willie's batteries aren't the best. But what do you think though about this theory though?
As someone who's not a fan of the books in the slightest, I'd have to say if we're going to be pulling anything like this plot-wise from the books, I'd want it to be something like this. Because I really fucking hate that they brought back Afton again after I thought his story was wrapped up pretty well in Pizza Simulation and Ultimate Custom Night. So for him to be brought back again, I just felt like it was kind of a huge slap in the face, and like those games didn't matter. So if he was a mimic instead and Afton wasn't actually back, then you could definitively say that Afton's story was wrapped up with UCN and that era ended, and the BR and AR and everything after that going on is the new era, and I would like that a lot more.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like when it comes to William Afton, he's better off just dead and forgotten. Have him live on through some new digital virus rather than reverting back to bringing his corpse into like the real world again. I think that we've burned him so many times that he deserves to just stay in his grave. I'm tired of him rising back up. Eventually it's just going to be like maybe his hand left, if even that. Like he went from being a dead guy in a suit to being a skull in a suit to just being a skull attached to an endoskeleton. I think it's a much better ending for him to be completely gone, real Afton's in hell, and this new mimic Afton is just a computer that thinks it's Afton. But that's just what I think. If you guys have a better theory, comment down below. Just remember, no one can prove anything. No one can really disprove anything. These books are still coming out, and we could very well be wrong about Mimic or Afton or whatever. But me personally, I think it's better if Burntrap just didn't happen. If you like this FNAF video, please hit that like button. If you know other people that like FNAF, share this video to them. It will help everyone out. It'll help this channel grow. It'll help get some new exposure to us. And if you guys want to see more stuff like this, you should hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, do everything that YouTubers tell you to do, because it actually does help out and it helps us make more content like this.